This video is sponsored by BetUS. Follow my pinned Twitter post and my Instagram story for more details and use promo code JOIN125 to start betting your favorite sports. Tyson Pedro is slated to fight Ike Villanueva, and UFC Fight Night 207 maybe gonna be the home to Kangaroo Pose versus Hurricane Ike. Tyson Pedro, 30 years of age, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, black belt in Kempo, BJJ and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. 7-3 is his score at the moment. At UFC, he was having ups and downs: choke victory over Kawe round 3, submission over Superbek Safarov, TKO win over Paul Craig, very surprising TKO win. I didn't expect that, I didn't see it coming. Then he lost to Ilir Latifi. He was stopped by Mauricio Shogun Hua, and Vincent Prue defeated him via straight armbar. Unfortunately, Tyson Pedro has been very, very inactive for the last 3 years. 3 years of absence from fighting can change people, so he pulled out of the fight against Vinicius Moreira in early January 2020 because of an undisclosed injury, and now Ike Villanueva, however you say, 6'3", 73 inches of reach. On the other side, 6'3", 79 inches of reach for Tyson Pedro. But Ike Villanueva fought. He fought constantly. He battled constantly, 18-13. But he worked a day job as a CNC machinist outside of his fighting career before inking UFC contract. Villanueva lost 4 out of his last 5 matches. He was stopped by Chase Sherman, Jordan Wright, Marcin Brachnio, and Nikolai Negumereanu, but he knocked out Vinicius Moreira cold. And the former Fury FC light heavyweight champion can finish people, but he can also get knocked out. Also lost to Trevin Giles in the past, lost to Justin Ledey. His submission defense is not on point. I mean, let's be honest. He was submitted many times throughout his career, which is the ultimate weapon of Tyson Pedro, submissions. So I am only worried because Tyson Pedro hasn't been fighting for a while, and this Samoan fighter and brother-in-law of Tai Tuivasa, well, I don't know, man. When you don't fight for a period of time, it can affect your performance. It can affect your way of thinking. That could change people. When you don't fight for a long period of time, it can change you. I still believe Tyson Pedro is way better in submission game, but Ike Villanueva could knock him out cold. Tyson Pedro is not a knockout artist. I mean, he can finish you on the ground. So if the fight stays on the ground, I'm going with Tyson Pedro. If the fight remains on the feet, despite I'm not a fan of Ike Villanueva, I would have to pick him for the victory. So if you ask me who's gonna win, I think it's gonna be a tricky. Normally I would pick Tyson Pedro, but Tyson Pedro hasn't been fighting for 3 years, and I don't know how that injury affected him. Undisclosed injury is always a tricky aspect of the game for everybody, not just for me. So I'm going to say because of that fight not going the distance. Very tricky pick for me.